2 minutes late, and I have to admit something to you. I just did epic battle with a spider just now, like chaos. It was about this big, and now it was a little baby spider, but it was enough that I feel justified in my delay. So that is live for you, because we are indeed live. Let me mute. Okay. We are indeed live, and I am back home. I am back in the home studio with you to talk about expiring domain names, not epic spiders, expiring domain names. You'll notice the vacation mohawk is gone. I'm sorry for those who were hoping it would return. I love it. I may start wearing the Drew Hawk every day. We'll see. We'll see. And yeah, we go like 109 episodes. What we're at 109 episodes. That means, wait. Supposed to only. Oh yeah, wait. You're talking. Okay, you're talking the Arizona weather. I thought that you were talking a number of episodes, because yeah, we're at 103 episodes. It's not 109 degrees here. It's only 90. The humidity is crazy. Okay, I hate the weather though. I don't talk about the weather. You guys ever watching Kanto and they're like, we don't talk about Bruno? Well, I don't talk about the weather. Okay. Can you tell I'm a little all over the place? I could show you this video. I was driving home from Daytona Beach, which is where I was last week. And on the drive home, like, I was behind this truck with, like, it was a race car on the back, and it had tires. And basically the tires started flying off of this truck, and I'm driving all over the place, like dodging them. It was pretty crazy. I'm happy to be home, happy to be safe. The family and all are well. We're excited to be back, and I'm excited to be here in the main studio, in the main place to talk about expiring domains. We have some pretty good domain names. I gave it a browse. I saw some pretty good domains this week. Can't wait to share them. We got keywordmonitor.com. We'll talk about that one. Cannabis distribution, clubcoins.com. We're going to have all those coming up today on the live show, as well as a few more. And we'll also be dodging the enum domain names, those ones that, well, they're just not realistically going to be, even though they show as expired, they're not going to come all the way through the auction. They're just somebody out there testing the numbers. It's that annoying piece. But we have some great domain names that I believe the buyer can certainly develop and make some money on, which is what we're here to do on Domain to Profit, is find the domain names that we can develop, turn into something, not just buy and sell, which is certainly something you can do with domain names. Many people buy domain names and sell them at a higher price. Certainly one way to make money. I do that as well. It's not my primary business. In fact, I very seldom buy a domain name with that purpose. I buy to develop, but it does happen. You know, you see it every once in a while. I'll be like, investor hat on, time to talk about domain names as an investor. But typically it is as a developer. By far, the most money I've made has been via development at towing.com and others. So finally getting everything all the way up here, still dealing with the craziness from the spider. Okay. Well, thanks for joining me. I'm Drew Washus, Domain to Profit. We will get going on the domain names here in 1 second. Make sure you say hi in the chat, and make sure you're joining us live. If you're watching this on Restream, you miss out on all the people in the chat, which are all, like you, like me, looking for great opportunities to develop the lives that they want. So be here live, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And next week is 104, which, do the math, that is 2 years of this weekly live stream. So say hi in the chat to all those great people if you're here. I'm Drew Wash, Domain to Profit. See you on the other side of this. From domain to profit, from a Okay, I had some audio stuff, so I went and I'll move visible, but that goes. So hope that okay. Choppiness does not improve. It could also be that yeah. Okay, let's see here. I see lots of people with me. As you know, got Lee, Dominic, Richest Domains, El Couch, and Matt. Thanks for being here as well. Michael, got a bunch of Arizona people complaining about the 100-some degree weather. And hopefully this improves. Down here, I am on a Wi-Fi connection, but usually does a trick. Keep me posted, though. I'll keep an eye on chat. It might be all you people upstairs using all my internet, Matt. Yeah. I think it's your bit rate. Yeah, I don't know. My bit rate, that shouldn't be a thing. Okay, I'm not gonna go messing with it. If it is unbearable, keep me posted, and I will work to try to fix it. Okay, so we are going to look at some expiring domain names. Yes, I'm all over the place. That's kind of what happens. I spent 5 days driving, 7 days on vacation, just complete chaos. I'm glad to be home. Looking forward to getting settled into a rhythm. I have so much work piled up. It is crazy through the roof stuff. Okay, well, let me share out the screens. We are going to be sharing and spending time here. This is expireddomains.net, which you should be able to see the URL over here that you can use to get the filters that we use to generate this list here, over 90,000 domain names that we are going to be looking through the best of. So over 90,000 expiring domain names here on GoDaddy Expired Domains. Expireddomains.net is a free site. Set up your free account, and you can search through all these domain names. We show you how over here on this URL, how to do that and follow along. So one of the things I'll point out as I started to the last couple weeks is the registrar of these domain names. There's a lot of testing of domain names. So what does that mean? That means the owners have their domain names, have the domain names over on Enum. Enum is a registrar, so enum.com. It's like GoDaddy. And Enum does not have auctions themselves. They use GoDaddy's platform to have their expired domain names come to you at auction. So in many cases, the domain name expires, comes up for auction, everything goes as normal, meaning the domain name expires, it goes to the auction, it deletes during the auction, and you as the winner of the auction wins that domain name. However, Enum and several of the others that are not GoDaddy that use GoDaddy's platform, those last minute domains can be renewed up to the final second, in some cases even after you pay for the domain name. When that happens, it throws chaos into the system, which is why we don't talk a bunch about the Enum domain names that go through GoDaddy, mostly because a lot of them get pulled back. If we talk about them, all we're doing is promoting somebody's domain name that realistically won't likely go all the way through the auction process. So if domain name, you can add the column for the registrar for Enum, and you'll see why I don't talk about them. But you certainly can bid on them. You certainly can and should if you love the domain name, but bid as late as possible. I recommend within the 5 to 6 minutes before the auction ends. The reason I recommend that is many people will renew the domain name with about a day left. We do not want them to know what you would pay for that domain name. If they are shopping for the quote, if they're shopping for an estimated price for their domain, if you bid early, you're giving them information. You're rewarding the behavior of last-minute pullbacks. So please do not do that. So when you see Enum as a registrar, I highly encourage you not to show your hand. And if you look over here, you'll see some of the largest domain names, like this one here, getitnow.com, which I would love to talk about. I love the domain name. I love the action of it. Get it now. But you'll see it's an eNom domain name, and its valuation is just what we order by, but it's already up over $1,200. So the person that owns that domain name, they're going to pull that back and win that. They're going to know that somebody out there is already bidding that much money on that domain name. So we don't want to give them that information. So, okay, with that said, we're going to start down through the list that we have over here, and we're going to go down to the list and talk about some of the domain names that are up for auction this week. Each week, this list changes. So watching live, you'll see new domains each week, new opportunities that this week is the only opportunity to get this. So know what you're looking for, know yourself enough to know what kind of domain name you love, and then go for it. So there you go. And also, keep me posted on the audio. Hopefully it has improved with the mic being closer to me. So, okay. All chat, I'm going to skip over that. Not a big fan of it. Most of the ones here at the top of the list, all these top domains, you can see they're all eNom domains, which I want to skip over. The first one I want to dive into a little bit is Payment Portal, paymentportal.com. I really like that one. I like that. We deal with a lot of reoccurring payments and things like that. And when you're dealing with these payments, a lot of times those domain names or those payment systems, think of them as a payment portal. How do you handle your payment? .com, for example, one of the largest payment processors, they do a lot with, come on, load it up. Hopefully it's not my connection, but it could be. But those payment processors like Stripe, they're essentially a payment portal. All your payment stuff, you can send out links to customers to handle payments. You'll see here dollars with 4 days left. Is it worth it? I would say so. In my opinion, Payment Portal's a great domain, a great brand. One thing that we'll want to do, though, consider the trademark of this. Payment Portal is generic, but it could be trademarked. Just recently, we found, I think I did it last week, a buddy of mine who actually watches the show, got a domain name, and it ended up being, even though it felt like a generic domain name, it ended up having some pretty hefty trademarks on it. That's tough stuff. So how do you do that? Go do a search of the TESS system, whoever knows what the heck that stands for. And that is over on the United States, what was it, Patent and Trademark Office. So if you just do a search for that, you're going to find it. This is a top result. It's a .gov site, and you can do a free basic search. Just search for the keywords like we do over on SpyFu, which we'll do that. Into the trademark stuff very, very often, but it is important to know because to the domain name that I'm referring to, the domain name, it was hundreds of dollars, just a domain name. So paymentportal.com, and let me go over here. A Patent and Trademark Office. There it is right here. So if you just do a search for USPTO, which is the United States Patent and Trademark Office, one of the top links is going to be to this page here, which you can do a word mark search. This is something just to kind of watch your back a little bit, and we'll just type this domain name in. Now, of course, if you're going to be paying a fortune for a domain name, you'll want to hire a lawyer to do this search for you or advise you on it. And you'll see here there are some payment portals. Live over here means the live, the trademark is live, but you'll see here they're kind of, it's a long here we go, revenue, not really strong there. Most of these are not looking all that strong. So I'm not a lawyer, but it's looking pretty clear on this, especially if you're using it as a generic payment portal, which is exactly what it is. So $3,000 for that domain name. What can you do with it? Well, You could put a front end to a Stripe payment processor or a Braintree processor or start your own merchant account, or just create software that does routing for payments. So you can, there's a lot of those out there, things like chatmogul.com, profitwell, I believe.com. Those are reporting. All they do is pull the data from a payment processor and give you access to see reports and things. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. Ah, man. Still seeing something about audio being an issue. I'm not sure if I can do much about that. I'm going to look real quick. Test, test, test. Okay, I'm looking. I'm not seeing any. So Matt was probably right. It's probably in the connection if there is something. I don't think I could do much about it as of this point. Hopefully it does the trick. Okay. Sorry, I'll try to improve it, but we're gonna keep moving on with the domain names here. Okay, that's a bummer. That gets in my head too. Gets in my head. Sky photos, not a huge fan of that. A little too generic for me. Sky photos. Okay, let's see here. I'm exiting out of an extra window, so maybe that'll free up some bandwidth too. One of the domain names, I love commercial roofers, but unfortunately, again, an enum domain name, so I'm going to skip it over. Commercial roofers being just a portal of commercial roofers. Used to own a commercial building, and you got to find the ones that do specifically rubber roofing and all the different commercial pieces. Definitely a different thing. Web searches, a little too generic. I don't really know what to necessarily do with that. But, you know, we could always look it up in SpyFu, but I'm not going to. Club Coins, I love that one as a brandable domain name. Brandable being, what the heck is Club Coins? No clue, except for you can turn it into whatever you want to. So in the age of NFTs and crypto, that could be an opportunity. Disability advocates, you could look that one up. Wine trips, check it out. I like wine trips. You ever do those in the U.S. or you ever go out to Napa, do a drive up US 1 and see Napa and Sonoma counties, and I love that. Actually, the guy I bought towing.com from was in Northern California, and when I bought towing.com, he gave me a big old box of local wineries they had given him over the years, and he didn't drink wine. So I got towing.com and a big box of the wines from the different wineries right around there. Not even like, they were like private labeled and stuff. I was like, oh my God, yeah, I'll take these, absolutely. So wine trips, 320 searches. Let's do a control F on this for wine trips. Why are we doing the control F? We want to highlight the different words in it. And you'll see here, not much happening with it, wine trips. But you can see right here, wine tasting trips. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm thinking, you know, people want to go on different wine trips. You know, there's different ways you can put maps together, put planned trips to where maybe you stay here for a few days and then go over to this part of California for a few days, or just a driving tour, maybe set up the transportation, busing to go driving. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. I'm sure there's also other destinations for wine trips, like practically bar crawls or pub crawls. I don't know. Lee, do you guys do pub crawls? Is that a thing? I'm sure you guys have some other name for them. So $1.22 click for cost per click on that one. 6 advertisers, so we're shy of the $2 threshold, shy of 10 advertisers, but there's stuff happening here. There's definitely some volume that is looking good on this. Winetrips.com. I like it. My pricing for it will kind of hit that minimum threshold of I would probably, or may even be in for like an 888. I don't know if I would take it above 1,000 based on the numbers here, but I do like the domain name. Certainly great for you or others to develop into a portal where people can find wine trips. You don't have to offer them. You don't have to do the busing. You don't have to drive around in some Sprinter van. Instead, you find the companies that are already doing wine trips and advertise them on winetrips.com. So instead of them having some 5-word, crazy, hard to spell domain name, they can advertise as being on winetrips.com, which is a great domain name. It sounds good. Wine trips makes sense. And you can find different transportation companies, accommodations, and so on, put together packages for it. I like the domain name a lot. So if you're going to bid on it, let me know in the community over on community.dtp. That's domain to profit, community.dtp.tv, which I believe somebody might share out in the comments because they appreciate it. I hope. I can share it out here in a little bit as well. Use code, trip tokens. Again, I'm feeling like a bit of a NFT crypto vibe on that one. Cannabis distribution. That's kind of unofficial. I mean, as of some point, that domain name is going to matter. So let's look it up. Now, because it has cannabis in it, I will tell you Google will not have ad data on the domain name. So we won't actually see ad revenue or advertisers on it because cannabis is a restricted topic on Google, meaning they don't take money from it. But here we go. Let's see what we got here. A long domain name. Look at all those characters. That is a long word, but we have some volume. So 90 searches for the exact one. American Cannabis Distribution Company, YouTube Cannabis Distribution Quarantine, Cannabis Distribution Association. This domain name, it's minor. It's a small domain name, very niche, but you can see that there are indeed quite a bit of searches and questions happening with it. So if you want to help pull together these keywords to help these people find what they're looking for, you can charge advertising dollars. Now, the laws here in the US are a little funky as far as profiting from cannabis stuff. But as long as you're not actually selling the cannabis, I think you could probably take ad dollars. Just gotta watch out. Consult a lawyer if you're worried about it. So, but you'll see here, this is what I mean. Cost per click, nothing. Advertisers, nothing. And that is because Google is, they don't take money on cannabis stuff currently because of the fluctuation. Federally, cannabis is illegal, but state-wise, many states allow it for recreational uses. So don't get me started on that. I am a cannabis supporter and cannabis user. So there you go. Oh, here's another one. Keyword Monitor. I really love that domain name. Like, look at what we're doing here on SpyFu, SEMrush. I monitor keywords. That is part of what we do for SEO and stuff. So, you know, is what it is. Professional voice. So this one's over on 2 Cows, which is another one that could be pulled back. Don't know if it is or will be, but we can still look. I'll give them a shot. But again, wait to bid until the last minute, which right now it's 1 day left. So this one ends tomorrow. Professional voice acting thing. So there we go. Oh yeah, thank you, Matt, by the way, for putting up the that URL. I'm going to take off the lower filters third. So there you go. You can see the community website there. And thank you for mentioning that it does seem to be getting better. I'm glad. I'm glad it's getting, that stuff drives me nuts. So professionalvoice.com, see some keyword data showing up here, word information. There are some searches for it, not as many as what I had hoped. We got good cost per click, so people are paying to advertise for the keyword. Just only 5 of them, though, so not a whole lot. You see voiceover, professional voice actors, and things like that. There's some stuff happening here. Most of these are, look, they're only in the hundreds. Not really vibing with it too terribly much. So what could you do with professionalvoice.com? You can put together a directory of professional voice actors, allow them to post their resume, some samples of their work, and people can come in and view those resumes, hear the work, and potentially hire them to do stuff. Pretty simple development in my mind. I am a developer, so maybe you could see that sounds like a perfect no-code type development. People log in and they can post their stuff. They pay you some monthly fee or annual fee, and they can create a profile and mention their rates, mention the work they do, and post some files and so on. And then people can go and hire them, like directly, ideally. You could be the middleman if you want to, but that's where it gets complicated. So I do like professional voice. It does seem short. It seems like there's a lot of alternative domain names. So one of the things you got to always think about with domain names, what are the alternatives for a domain name that would target the same industry, but better? Voice.com, that one was a huge, expensive domain name. You're not going to get that one, but that one would be a better domain name, but it'd also be broad. Professional voice, how about Pro Voice? Voiceovers, those are good ones. That's a good domain name. So there's other ones out there that would be great domain names as well. So consider that as you're considering bidding on professional voice. Based on what I'm seeing here, 90 monthly searches, limited alternative keywords, 5 advertisers, $3.95. Based on the quick view of the data that I see here, that one would probably be, for me, a $6.88 type bid. For someone just bidding completely based on what you see here, you would probably want to limit your bid to around $380. But honestly, in my view, any domain name worth developing is likely going to be closer to $1,000. But that's my view. So if you're a scrappy young college kid with a few $100 in your pocket and you're looking for an opportunity, try to get it for a few $100 and then scrap your way into making money. That's exactly what I did. Just grab some domain names and built them up. Tony.com was like 5 steps down the road. I had developed all kinds of garbage prior to that. And by garbage, I mean garbage in the present tense, meaning nowadays I wouldn't want any of the domain names I developed originally, but that's what I could afford. I can afford the cheap ones back in the day. Ooh, dance lesson. Ooh, I didn't even know this one. I didn't see this before. I really like it. I like it a lot. Holy goodness gracious, dancelesson.com. 1 day left on this one. That one's getting added list. I've looked into, gotta log in. I've looked into domain names around dance. Dance lesson is not my favorite. It's probably would be about my maybe 15th favorite. I would even prefer the plural, so dance lessons would be better than dance lesson, which we're probably about to see right here once we type this into SpyFu. So you'll see singular will be minor, and I'm guessing plural will have some big keywords with it. Yeah. So dance lessons near me with the plural, with the S, is going to have over 29,000. But look at that. That's what I like about it. That the localization. When we see near me, bing, 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 dollar signs in the form of opportunity to help a lot of small dance studios reach their customers. You charge them some small amount, save them money versus Google, and voila! Look at all this. This is freaking huge. Could you imagine dance lessons? Dancelesson.com, yeah, only 90. That's minor. But if you can do the work to target dance lessons, dance lesson near me, dance lessons, man, I don't even know if singular, it's a near miss, but it's a big enough keyword that it matters. But look at all these couples dance lessons near me, dance lessons for adults near me, like a lot of stuff happening here. What content do you put on it? Maybe you're not a dancer. I just so happen to take some dance lessons back in college. My wife and I can do swing dance. Well, I think we still can. Every once in a while we'll bust it out. But what content do you put on that domain name? Right above my head here, you'll see the questions that people are searching for. Build out blog posts and help your users, your visitors, those dance studios, submit content for that. You don't even have to create it. You let them do it as part of their account, and they get the traffic, get the benefit. Over $2. I'm actually shocked that the advertisers are less than 10. Guarantee for dance lessons, it's through the roof. Still a good domain name. It's in that C+ type range only because the S is missing. I do love dance lessons. I will be in on that auction, I believe. 1,700. I would appraise the domain name. I would say it is easily going to go for 2,300. That's probably be around, my range would be around 2,300. But I would not be surprised to see dancelesson.com go for significantly more than that. So there you go. Great domain name. I love it. Wonder why the annual renewal is so much. $20? Is GoDaddy charging $20 a year for domain renewal now? Yowza. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I'm logged in, for goodness sakes. Why would it be showing? Okay. Anyhow, that's besides the point. $20 a year is high. So I don't know why it's showing $20 a year. It should be 10. So dance lesson, certainly getting a star for that one. I'm not sure what Mesh Digital Limited is. I'm guessing likely could be pulled back. But quickrooms.com, that's not a bad one. I could see that being an app. Bet rewards. I see people all the time over on Twitter asking for domain names related to some big sales. So you could certainly, bet rewards could be some of them. Yeah, let me see here. Checking out some of the chats. I want to make sure. And let me just see here. Raymond's adding, ironic given the domain name is professional voice. I showed him out of order here, so here we go. Is definitely better. Okay, all the audio. Yes, I do not have professional audio going. See, I got good. The is good. The quality of the connection. The connection's always the issue. I'm not sure what's going on with it. So this one ends in 6 days. BetRewards.com. I go to Vegas pretty frequently. Not so much to gamble. I'm not really a gambler, but in Vegas, every single casino you walk through, they have those rewards cards. So betrewards.com seems like a pretty good place to build a directory for people to kind of monitor their gambling activity or something like that. Maybe you can even pull in the data from the different casinos and have one central place that professional gamblers or people that consider themselves professional gamblers can kind of keep track of the rewards or something like that, or show them off. $15 currently. You're going to want to wait till the last minute because there's not many bids on it. 2 bidders going so far. You'll see that over kind of behind me here. So there are 2 bidders. This domain name, Bet Rewards. Let's go check out the keyword data. My gut tells me there's going to be some, but the power of this domain name will not probably show up in the actual. Okay, but I guess. Maybe my laptop is actually having some issues. We'll see. Okay, betrewards.com. 135 searches, so that's pretty light. We want to see, several thousand ideally. Not really seeing much over here. Keywords are looking pretty weak, actually. No advertisers because it's gambling, even though it's allowed federally now. Not sure why Google's not in on that. Or maybe there's just nobody advertising for it, which I find shocking because it's a big business. Over $1 per click, though. So betrewards.com, maybe you can develop it, maybe you want to avoid it. So there you go. Buzz Games, political book. Oh my goodness, why would you do that to yourself? And feel free to mention in chat if by chance you see something that I'm skipping over. And yes, I am skipping over a lot of good domain names, mostly because it seems like most of the good domains, Dog Helper, I could see that being a reasonable domain name. But again, look, all the reasonable ones, enom. I'm gonna almost have to filter out the domain names or something. I like Hello Expert. That's over on name.com. I'm not sure. Thought name.com went through different expired domains, but maybe I'm mistaken. I like Hello Expert as a brandable type domain name. So anytime it's brandable, you're definitely want to check out the trademark search before you spend money on it. School Papers, that's on Moniker. Again, an external domain search. Bid and Win, maybe not. Book Ideas, there you go. I mean, I'm sure somebody out there was interested in bookideas.com. I like that domain name, actually. Something tells me if somebody's going to write a book, they already have the idea, but maybe not. I don't know too many people that are like, book, and I have no idea what I want to write it on. Maybe. I don't know. Why would you do that to yourself? I mean, you might not know exactly what to say, but here we go. Book Ideas, 3,800 searches. So the search volume looks pretty good on this one. Main name's clean, sounds good, sounds clear. 7 advertisers, $1.27. So this is a pretty good domain name. Currently going for $185, ends in 7 days. So we will see this one in just before the show next week, in about 1 p.m. next Monday. Going to add that to my watch list. I like it based on the data I'm seeing here. From me, this will be like a $1,200 to $1,400 domain name. That's just because it's not the perfect development for me. But for somebody who's big into books, maybe you already offer some kind of book service, this is a great domain name. Gives you access to a lot of different keywords here. And I mean, Book Ideas just sounds great. Hey, bookideas.com. I'm a consultant that helps people. I mean, there's all kinds of different things you can do with it. So you can do directory of ghostwriters. That's a big business. Bookideas.com sounds good for it. So there you go, bookideas.com. It will be a 4-figure domain name. If that goes for 5 figures, if that gets up to 10,000, I'd be really shocked. But weird things happen. Database designer, again, enom domain name. Soundproofed. I don't know about the past tense. Past tense does not typically go very well in a domain name. Fairy times, not bad. I'm sure I'm not in an area that there's a lot of fairies. Fairy being, the boats. But if you are around a lot of water, fairies are a way of life. So I know over, like for example, in Seattle, in Washington State, there are a lot of ferries. If you want to get out to certain parts, drive hours around, or you can take a ferry. So I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio, man. We're in the middle of the country, like picture land everywhere. You can take a ferry across the river, but typically there's no reason to. So looking here, 360, not seeing a whole lot. No advertisers. Hey, so if you want to build a great domain name, fairytimes.com seems reasonable to me. Fairy wait times. So check it out. Reasonable domain name. Keep it cheap if you go for it. I'm going to add it to my watch list just because I do like it, almost for the fun of it type development. But for that, in that range of for the fun of it development, those domains that I likely will never actually get around to develop, but for those, I try to keep them a few $100s or less, but it is worth getting that domain name if you are interested in it for sure. I buy for development, but that doesn't mean I actually will develop them. So one of the things, we are in the middle of the $100,000 domain buying spree still. Made an offer today on a domain name. I think it's probably not basically when I make an offer, I typically will tell you whether I think I am the buyer of that domain name or not. And in that case, I'm probably not going to be the buyer. That I think they can get more money elsewhere. However, sometimes you buy domain names and maybe someday you'll develop it. I have a whole number of domain names that if you're a developer out there and you're looking for an opportunity, we can partner. You can develop out the domain name and I'll just take a little bit on the back end. Like you don't need to buy the domain name from me. So anyhow. And for the record, I think most domain investors, most domain owners are like that. They would be perfectly fine sharing a domain name with a developer. The only thing is do you really want to buy on somebody else's, do you want to build on somebody else's land? I don't want to. I don't like the idea of building on somebody else's land. Trial offers, it's over on 2Cows. I don't know about that domain name. I'm going to skip over it, but that is a good domain name. I just may be subject to pullback. Okay, moving to this list here. I want to check in with chat a little bit here. Let me try to read this over. Going between different screens here. Do you use a niche or a multi-purpose theme when setting up your websites? We are building a system to do our websites. So it's, I mentioned it over on the community. This is one of the few times I've mentioned it here. I don't talk about it a whole lot. I prefer to take action, get something ready for people to use, and then I'll talk about it. But we are building a system that will allow you to build a towing.com or a photo booth type domain name website, domain-based business with little effort, with a heck of a lot less effort than developing out the way we do. So in that case, I don't know if that really answers your question. I try to work hard once and that's it. So we are working hard once to create the system. Many have tried it before. Many have failed before, including us. So we'll see how it goes. You can't see me. Only an acre. Better late than never. Welcome, welcome. See, and now I'm checking in with chat. I missed out on a lot of them. Hey, and thank you everybody for welcoming everybody as they come in. I appreciate that. I love that we have such a great community. It makes me so happy to have you all with me on this journey. It is so cool. What? You have your husband's a developer, like a coder. Like hopefully you got. I know you're dealing with some domain stuff right now, but man, get them on some projects. Although I get it, you probably don't want to mix business with marriage. It's probably not a good idea for most. I'm very, very blessed in that my wife and I have worked literally side by side for, well, nearly 20 years now. Actually, I guess pre-marriage, she even worked with me a little bit. So there you go. We just are freaks, though. And I don't think anybody would argue with that. Looking through domain names, by the way. Yeah, I don't think people would argue. Like, I am perfectly fine being a freak. I'm an over communicator, as you can probably tell. That's why I do a live show. I try not to keep much to myself. would annoy the crap out of some people. But one of the things it does, you know how if you ask any older person, how do you stay married for so long? They always say, oh, just communicate. Well, maybe it's true, because I'm an over communicator, and it seems to help. Film scanners. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if anybody's actually even looking for it. I'm not even going to go searching for it. Let's keep going. Some of these look good. Oh my dear goodness. Vegan dog food. I'm not going to even search for that. I spend quite a bit of time. Most of my food is vegan, but I've heard like dogs are not vegans. They literally I've heard of people like practically killing their dogs because they try to get them on vegan diets and stuff. I'm sure you could pay a fortune for dog food that might not kill your dog. Anyhow, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So there you go. Packaged food. Packaged food. Does anybody do a search for packaged food? I'm not really digging that one. You might want to dig, like, it sounds good. I mean, if you're going to sell food through the internet, it needs to be packaged food. I just don't really know, don't really dig it. I just don't like it. Is that okay? I don't like it. My gut says garbage. But now just because it's garbage doesn't mean you can't make money from it or create a site that will help the people that are looking for that topic. And that is the key with any of these, or any domain name that you might be out there buying or already have in your portfolio. The fact is, people are looking for it. And if you go type it into Spy Foo and people are searching for it, asking questions about it, help those people get what they want. More exposure, easier contact, point A to point B. Like, help those people out and you can get what you want, which is some revenue for yourself, create the future you want by helping other people get what they want. I think it was Brian Tracy, the quote I love to always talk about, which is, you can have anything you want in life as long as you help enough others get what they want. So, and it's true. It's very true. Idiot's Delight. I like that one. Big city condos. That sounds like a brandable, but maybe something. Time income. Time income. Interesting domain name. So a lot of these domain names read pretty well. They're tolerable domain names. I can see a product being named it. The only thing is you got to watch out for brand, whether the brand is clean, whether there's no trademarks for it. Marketing incentive. Check that one out. So this is, again, a Two Cows domain name. So, may back a bit on it until the last minute, as we always say, especially on Enom and other domains. But marketing incentive is certainly to get some searches. Okay, only 60 searches. I'm a sucker for a domain name with marketing in it. Not really seeing a whole lot of anything here. Incentive marketing, that's what I'm thinking of right there. That's incentive marketing. So that's basically when you give something to get something, incentive marketing. Okay, skipping over it, but there you go, marketing incentive. I'm going to close that down. Index. Bitcoin convert. Hookah online. That seems counter useful. Leather clothes. I guess people do wear leather clothes, like bikers and stuff like that, especially. Sounds really uncomfortable. Okay, do we do page next? Do we go to the next page? Let's go to page 3. I'm feeling ambitious. I'm feeling ambitious. I'm gonna go check in with chat real quick. Yes, I loved Idiot's Delight. Like, It's like Turkish delight, but stupider. I don't know. Oh, thank you for looking that up, Rihan. 660 searches for packaged food. So yeah, it definitely does get some search stuff. It is a reasonable domain name for sure, but it just not my bag. It's a product domain name. So certainly, if you're in for that kind of product domain name, just seems like a world where we're searching for packaged food. Just seems one a little bit different from actually what I want to live in. That makes sense. Like I tend to spend my domain name making the world that I want my daughter to live in. Is that too crazy? I don't know. It makes sense to me. If I want to make stuff, I want to make my life matter. I want it to matter enough to help somebody do something that will matter for the future. So packaged food sounds like some crazy out of a machine type. I don't know. I'm just skipping over. Okay, let's give it a couple page downs and we'll wrap up today. I'm kind of curious. Hey, here you go. The Caymans. I own Caymans.com. Maybe I should look at. I don't like the in front of a domain name, but I know that might make sense. So I'm going to add that to my watch list only because I own Caymans.com. So I'm going to add it to the collection to good. So, but yeah, Caymans.com. That was one I bought a couple years ago. It's not developed. So if you go there, you won't see much. But someday, there's a future version of me that has that domain name developed. I believe in me. Or maybe somebody wants to develop it. Maybe. Get my traffic. Okay, as you can see, we're on page 3, which tends to get a little more, little slower. Get looking. Trusted resort. Okay, one more page down. You guys ready for this? This is going to be it. Oh, I thought that said cool investment. I was kind of excited for a second. Okay, last page down. Then we will wrap it up. If you haven't, make sure you like the video and subscribe. I do appreciate that. Each like, I'm pretty sure it's a good thing. Like puppies puppies smile and stuff whenever somebody likes the video. So you like puppies, right? Kittens too. They're meow. They're like, oh meow. Thank you for liking the video. Do I need to add cats? If I add cats to the video, I think that will improve things. My wife is allergic to it, to cats. Okay, AlaskaExperts.com. I don't mind that one. Alaska Experts, like wilderness guides or something like that, maybe. Okay, well, there we go. Not all of them are winner. I'm right on. I'm not sure what I'm right on. Maybe the Idiot's Delight. But I appreciate it, Raymond. I appreciate you being here. Joining us from LinkedIn. Always nice to have. Like when I share it, let me see here. Drew is right on. I don't know what I'm right on about. I like to think I know what the heck I'm talking about, but realistically, I make this stuff up as I go along. Yes, it's based on dozens of years of doing this stuff, but I don't know. We all make mistakes. Something like that. Okay, well, enough babbling. I'm a little tired. I'm still worn out from the road. I'm noticing that. For sure. I'll work on my internet for next week. I'll see if I can get that fixed up. I'm going to review what happened and improve. Always something that I'm out to do. Build and improve. How can I improve the heck out of what I'm doing? I do appreciate you being here, dealing with any audio stuff that might have been at the beginning. Hey, bear with me. Hopefully you got some reward for sticking around. Hopefully you found a domain name even if it was secret, even if you're not sharing it in the chat and you're like, yeah, that domain name, I'm going to get that. I'm going to win. I'm going to build my future. That's all I want. Like, do that. And then come over to the community.dtp.tv. join us over there, say hi, and if you have any domain names that you're looking to sell, check out the domain buying spree over there as well. I specified the specific domain names that I'm looking for, and if they meet certain criteria, you will get a guaranteed offer. Sometimes the offer will be fantastic, and I believe I will be the best buyer for the domain name. Other times, the offer will be reasonable, adequate. So there you go. Well, I very much appreciate you joining me here. Like, subscribe, and see you next week as we do this all again for our second year. We will be here for episode 104, which that means the second year of doing this domain to profit, like 2 years. So we'll see. We'll possibly even continue to keep doing it. But stay tuned. You won't know until you find out next week. 3 p.m. I'm Drew Wash. See you next week.